What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Unlike the last video, I'm safe to say I'm back outside. I'm back at where I filmed my why I decided to switch to the next video. I'm at the same bike trail. This is the same spot as last time, 1 year ago pretty much. So I'm back here. Microsoft Windows, I'm pretty sure you guys know what Windows is. Pretty much everybody uses it. It is one of the most popular operating systems in the world. Unfortunately, like with any Microsoft product, operating systems come and go, and Windows 10 is no different. On the 14th of October 2025, Microsoft will stop giving out free security updates, and basically what this means is that Windows 10 will stop being supported. It will reach its end of life, or EOL. On that day, which is like a few weeks from now, Microsoft will stop supporting Windows, like in terms of like security updates, and they will be focusing on Windows 11 more. And to me, this is probably the most stupidest thing Microsoft has ever done. Like, they had the recall feature, they have Copilot. Whoa. Okay, I'm sorry everybody. I live so close to an airport, but as I was saying, Microsoft Windows, they had a lot of bad stuff going on. Recall, Copilot, ads in the File Explorer, a lot of stuff. And now Windows 10. Now, just like every other operating system, obviously you can still continue to use Windows 10. You just won't receive security updates for it. Just like Windows XP or Windows 7, you can still use it. What's up? Just like Windows XP or Windows 7, you can still continue to use the operating system. Even to this day, it's not advised to use Windows XP or Windows 7 because they stopped receiving support. And I know I'm dragging out the intro, and I've been walking so fast, practically halfway through the bike trail. It's unfortunate that you can't use Windows 10 well beyond the future. So what can you do now? Well, you could switch to Windows 11, but the thing with Windows 11 is they require something called a TPM 2.0 chip, and some people don't have that chip on their computer, so maybe they can't upgrade to Windows 11. There are some YouTubers that make videos saying that you can bypass the requirements, and maybe that works, but I don't know, I haven't tested that out. So maybe you can upgrade to Windows 11 by bypassing the TPM 2.0 requirement if you don't have the chip. Okay, so upgrade to Windows 11. What else? Maybe switch to Linux. I'm at the same bike trail as I did my Linux video, so this is quite poetic, but maybe switch to Linux. Now, obviously, I know Linux doesn't fit everybody. Oh, whoa, grasshopper. But Linux doesn't suit everybody. I know there's obviously like a lot of problems on Linux. There are games that are not supported, there's applications that are not supported on Linux. You can't use Premiere Pro on Linux, obviously, I know. But for the average user, maybe you should consider switching to Linux. Linux has gone through a lot of progression in the past. Valve has imported a lot of games to Linux using like the Steam Deck and like Proton. So there's a lot of progression in the Linux community. But maybe it's not enough, and I get that. Another option is to use another operating system like Chrome OS or Mac OS if you want, which can be good choices. They're the most popular operating system, but there's not a lot of support for those two things. Bro, I swear, a lot of applications that I want are on Windows. So yeah, another thing that you can do, and what I'm doing right now, is that you can use a special version of Windows 10, like an LTSC enterprise version of Windows 10, which is what I'm currently using for my Google right now. So to summarize, you can upgrade to Windows 11 if you have the TPM 2.0 chip. You can switch to Linux if you want. You can switch to Chrome OS and Mac OS if you want as well, maybe. Or you can use a special version of Windows 10, which is what I'm currently using. So for me, I'm using Windows 10 LTSC Enterprise or something like that. Essentially, it's a version of Windows that's for like businesses, and it doesn't have a lot of bloat in it. It's very bare bones, and it's really stable, and it has extended security support. And the version of Windows that I'm using is going to last into 2032, which is around like 7 years. So yeah, that's quite a long time. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to be exploring two options: switch to Linux, preferably Linux Mint, and use the special version of Windows or Windows LTSC. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And Windows 10 has helped so many businesses, so many students, so many people, and I'm really sad that Microsoft isn't supporting the operating system any longer because it's so essential to society. But I guess we have to move on. Anyways, I think I'll stop yapping, and after this I will go back to my computer and I will show you guys how to switch to Linux Mint and how to use Windows 10 LT Enterprise LTSC.
Alright, so I'm back at my computer, and first things first, we're gonna install Linux. So if you guys know anything about Linux, you might know that Linux is not necessarily like, you know, a standalone OS like Windows or Microsoft, but Linux is a kernel, and there are Linux distributions or distros that are like, you know, OSs that are based on the kernel. So like distributions like, you know, Ubuntu, Debian, Fedora, Arch, NixOS, OpenSUSE, you know, many distros. And for this video, I'm going to be installing Linux Mint. If you guys know, Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, and it is literally one of the greatest and also one of the most easiest operating systems. Distributions that Linux has to offer. I really love Linux Mint, and I recommend for new users to install it because it's actually a pretty easy, it's pretty simple distribution, and it kind of somewhat resembles Windows as well. So for people flocking from Windows to Linux, maybe try out Linux Mint. Alright, so first things first, go to your favorite browser and just, you know, search up, you know, Linux Mint or any other operating system. So here it is, Linux Mint. Here's the home page, and pretty much every single like Linux distro, whether it's like Debian, Ubuntu, Fedora, Arch, every single Linux distro I believe has their own like homepage with, you know, the download button, and this is the homepage of Linux Mint. So yeah, all this stuff. Ooh, sponsored by Yahoo and DuckDuckGo. View all sponsors. This is okay. Whoa. Okay, I don't know what all this is. Alright, let's go back to the top. So of course, let's hit on download, and as you can see, Linux Mint has a new version. It's Linux Mint 22.2, Zara as they called it. And if you don't want to have the newest version, so 22.2, if you don't want that, you can always go ahead and go here to downloads, then other versions, then all versions. And this is, you know, all the other versions that are apparently currently supported. Table shows all Linux Mint which are currently supported. Oh, alright. So here's 22.2. the newest version, and then Linux Mint 6, which is the oldest supported version, and it only has the Cinnamon desktop. Alright, but anyways, for this video I'm going to be installing the newest version of Linux, Linux Mint 22.2, and if you scroll down here you can see it has like, you know, 3 versions. So we have Cinnamon, XFCE, and Mate or Mate on Linux, and I'm pretty sure every single Linux distro has this as well. But we have something called a desktop environment, and it's basically just how, you know, the desktop looks, pretty much how the environment looks. Also here in computer desktop environment is the implementation of a desktop environment, a bunch of and yeah, it basically just looks like, yeah, all like this. So of course we have something like, you know, GNOME, KDE Plasma, LXQT, and then like i3, and they all look very different from each other. And no, these are just 4 I'm showing you guys, but no, there are many other desktop environments. But going back to this, so we have Cinnamon edition. This is the most popular version of Linux Mint, and this one is, you know, very sleek, modern. It has way more features. This one's pretty well developed. XFCE, this is, I like this desktop. This is a lightweight desktop environment. It doesn't have that much features as Cinnamon, but again, it's light, simple, efficient. It's lighter on resource usage. So and then lastly we have Mate or Mate edition. This is, apparently they call it classical traditional. I've never used the Mate edition of Linux Mint, but apparently it says Mate is a classic desktop environment. It is the continuation of GNOME 2, which was Linux Mint's default desktop between 2006 and 2011. Well, so this is old, but let's open this up. So this is what it looks like. So that's the desktop environment. I'm not sure how much features it has, but yeah, that's Mate. But for this video I'm going to be installing Cinnamon. This is again the most developed, popular, sleek, modern version. And wait a second, is it? This is an old screenshot, but anyways, click on download, and then you can either click on the torrent download here, So here's a torrent, 64 bits. Of course, I save that to my downloads, and then if you have like a download manager, like free download manager that I have, or like qubit torrents or something, then yeah, of course, new download, save this, press download. If you have a download manager, or you can go and scroll down here to download mirrors, download from one of the mirrors below. So of course, all of it is 64 bits, and we have location in the mirror. So from all these countries, including mine, Vietnam. Hey, that's my country, Vietnam. Let's go. But you can click on anyone. I'll just click on, I guess, Hubli. Let's save that, and there we go. It should be downloading. That's actually downloading very slowly. All right. Let me click on, I guess, Harvard. Let's see that. There we go. All right. Thanks, Harvard. Alright, so it's done downloading, and pretty much what I downloaded was an ISO file. So as you can see, your type of file, disk image ISO. And also, I forgot to say this, but I'm starting off on my Windows 10 do boots because I want to show you guys how to install a Linux ISO, on your Windows desktop, because most people watching are probably on Windows right now. Maybe on Windows 11, but most people are used to Windows 10. So yeah, I'm starting off on Windows right now, and I'll switch to Linux to show you guys how to install and also burn it to a flash drive. So anyways, on Windows, to burn this ISO file to a, okay, hold on, let me pull it out, USB flash drive like this, you of course plug it into your computer, and then you go ahead and install some program like Rufus or Balena Etcher. But for me personally, I'll go with Rufus here. So hit yes. Alright. So here's Rufus, and it automatically detected my USB flash drive. So here it is. It's around 8 gigabytes. And pretty much what I have to do is I select the ISO file that I just downloaded. For the partition scheme, I changed this to like GBT because I'm running a newer system. You guys don't know, this is MBR is for legacy, BIOS, older laptops or computers. This is old. GBT is the new one. So it's UEFI. So of course for me I picked GBT, not ChatGPT by the way, but no, GBT. And then format options, I leave this as default, and then I go ahead and press start. The image you have selected is ISO hybrid image. Whatever. Press OK. Then warning: all data on the device will be destroyed. So make sure to back up all your important files. Of course, now all I need to do is press OK, and then deleting partition. This may take a while, and it should copy all the ISO files to the USB flash drive. So this is gonna take a while. So sit back, relax, take a nap, drink some coffee, take a walk. I don't know, and just wait till it's done copying the stuff to the flash drive. But for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna hit cancel on this. Okay, yes. But once it's done, it should say something like ready, so you know that it's ready, and then you can hit close on Rufus. No, just close it, and then you're pretty much done. Alright, so I'm on my Linux desktop right here, and of course, same thing as last time. You can go ahead and download the torrents. So you can download this, or you can go and scroll down and just click on one of the links, and then it should download here. Alright, and there it is. It's downloading. Well, this is pretty fast. Wow, thanks Harvard. Alright, and once it's done downloading, you can go ahead and of course use Balena Etcher, because this also works on Linux. I guess if you're running Linux Mint just like me, you can go ahead and right click, make a bootable USB stick, and then of course you can select your USB stick here and then write it, or you can go ahead and type in disk. This is the GNOME disk utility, and basically go to your USB flash drive here. Let me stop it first. Alright, and then basically go right here to the 3 dots, format disk, and then just format it. Format. Alright, it's formatted, and then after that you press on the 3 dots again, restore disk image to restore, and then go ahead and select your ISO, and then start restoring, then restore, type in your password, and then it should, yeah, there we go, it should restore. Now just sit back, relax, watch hentai as is copying the ISO files to the USB. Alright, hit cancel just because I don't want to waste my time again, but after that's done, it should just finish up like this. No progress bar. It doesn't tell you if it's done or not, but the progress bar just goes away. And yeah, dude, what the frick? This channel is station 67. And this was in 2023, dude. Do they know? Do they know? But after that's all said and done, and pretend I have, you know, an ISO image burned into here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna stick this into like a turned off computer, so like a desktop or laptop. So stick this into your laptop, make sure it's turned off first, or maybe restart the laptop. Stick it in, turn your laptop on, and while doing that, press your boot key like F9, F12, or escape. It's different on every single device, but press your boot key, and then there should be a screen that appears with all your drives. Use your arrow keys and select your USB flash drive using the enter key. If that doesn't happen, change some settings in your BIOS or UEFI. But anyways, after you select your USB flash drive, it should take you to the setup process of whatever operating system you have in your flash drive. Like in this case, Linux. And booting from a flash drive is pretty much how you install, you know, every operating system ever. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to be utilizing what's called a VM or a virtual machine. A virtual machine is basically just a computer inside of a computer. It's basically what many IT professionals or computer nerds use to test out their software or operating system without actually harming their desktop environment. So let me start this, and here it is. So of course on this screen, hit enter to start Linux Mint. Alright, this is quite a small area, but on VirtualBox, you can go ahead and click on the view, virtual screen, scale to 150%. Here, there we go. Okay, what is happening here? Okay, which is, whoa. Alright, I have no idea what just happened there, but here it is. This is Linux Mint. And this is not installed. If you go to your spooky scary terminal, use the command line. You can see that the default name is Mint, so this is default. This is actually not installed. This is what is called like a preview or something, or a live user session. Okay, I actually don't know. I had to search it up, but this is a preview or a live user session, and this is pretty helpful because you can use this to test stuff. So I don't know, sudo apt install something. Now you can test the files, test the web browser. Again, this is not installed. It's just running on the USB flash drive. And to actually install it, you click on, up here, install Linux Mint. I think every operating system has, some kind of button like here. But yeah, press install Linux Mint, and here it is. Of course, you can select any other language. For me, I'll just stick with English. Continue. Keyboard layout, English, of course. Install multimedia codecs. This, I recommend you check this because it helps you with, some video formats to probably render some websites. Okay, yeah, okay. Check this. Continue. Alright, it's preparing, and then, whoa, what? Okay, that's crazy. So I've already installed this in the virtual machine, and I guess it's doing whatever this is. Reinstall, install alongside, erase this. So let's pretend these two options don't exist. So this screen should have two options, and it's erase disk and install Linux Mint, or you can hit on something else. This is where you can find the partition manager. This is for advanced users, and it's somewhat complicated, but this is here so that you can resize or create partitions, so like change the size of something on the disk. You can also use this to do boot with Windows, but that's beyond the scope of this video. Okay, anyways, just press on erase disk and install Linux Mint, and then hit install now. Okay, right, change to this. Yeah, continue. And then where are you? I'm at Chicago, I guess. Yeah, continue. And then who are you? Type your name. I'll just guess tutorial 1234 1234. All right, continue. And then it should install the operating system. So yeah, just sit back and relax again, or maybe not, because on Windows, when it's installing, you can't do anything with your OS or computer. But on like Linux, I guess I can just like sudo apt install 24.8. Yeah, I can just do that 24.8, and yeah, I can just I can just game while it's installing, which is pretty cool. But alright, anyways, this is the terminal. I think this is what most people get scared about on Linux, because there's a spooky scary terminal you have to get used to. And I get it. Some people just want their computer to work and don't want the hassle of using a terminal. But there are easy Linux distros, just like Linux Mint, that don't require a terminal to get things working. Although some things you do need a terminal. So if you're installing Linux Mint or any other distro, try to get familiar with a terminal. But anyways, this command I just typed here is sudo apt install. This is how you like install software. So sudo apt install whatever software name. You can search for software using apt search 248 2004. I don't know. Of course, you can see there it's right here, so you can search for software like that to see if it's in the repository. But on Linux Mint, there's also such a thing called a software manager. And I know I'm getting way too ahead of myself, and I've been waiting for like a few minutes. It's not doing anything. So anyways, let's just wait for it to install, I guess. Slowest VM ever. Alright, it's finally done, and I had to like restart the entire VM. But anyways, this took like 19 minutes to install. So I don't know, slow VM I guess. But anyways, installation complete. Installation has finished. You can continue testing Linux Mint now. But until you restart the computer, any changes you make or documents you save will not be preserved. So yeah, let's restart. So of course it's restarting. Please remove the installation media, press enter. So remove your USB flash drive, and then after that press enter. Alright, it's nighttime right now, and it's like 8 AM, and like I have this whole like LED strip lighting up here. Alright, anyways, let's enter our password. And that I guess gotta whisper because like family members are sleeping, but I guess anyways, so here we are in Linux Mint. So it says welcome to Linux Mint, welcome to your new operating system. This welcome screen regarding your first steps. Okay, so let's go. And so our first steps here, our desktop colors. Okay, let's change this to a darker theme since it's so dark. Okay, dark. Oh, we can change the style, so like Mint L, Mint X. No, that doesn't. No dark mode? Oh, come on. Mint Y, dark, and then yeah, green. It's just pink, purple. But yeah, I'll just stick to green. And this system snapshots. This is like the restore point on Windows, and basically it backs up like system files. Not your personal files, but like system files in case like if something goes wrong. So here you're on time shift. So select snapshot type, rsync, next. Okay, let's wait. Alright, select snapshot location. The next. You can click whatever you want. But for me, I guess let's just keep that default. So daily, keep 5. Next, finish, and after that's done, you click on create, and it will create a snapshot. But I'm not gonna do this since this is a virtual machine, anyways. So, anyways, driver manager. Oh, this is a virtual machine. I don't know if it appears. I think it doesn't. Yeah, no drivers needed. But anyways, so I'm running Linux Mint on my main host as well. So the driver manager, it should appear like this. So it should detect your GPU and then whatever drivers that it now has. So first it starts up with the open source one, but of course you would want to get the recommended one because that's the one that works. The open source one, it actually sucks. Most apps like OBS are very poor with this one, so hit the recommended one and then apply the change. Update manager, this is just a GUI update. Run to update manager. This tool provides your operating system with software and security updates, software snapshots. Okay. Do you want to switch to local mirror? I mean, most of the time I just press no. So new version update is available. Apply to update. So press that. Okay, let's type in their password. And okay, just wait for this to go over. Alright, so here's the update manager, and you pretty much, it selects out every single update, and you pretty much just press on install updates. You can clear or select all here, I think. Yeah, refresh the page, right? Yeah, it just refreshes the page. Yeah, you just press install updates. I'm not going to click this since this is a VM. So update everything. Then your system settings. This is your system settings. So you can change your themes, of course, your effects, account details. Oh, there's my account. Date and time. General was memory limit. Wow. There's a graphics tablet. Oh, there's no stylus. Here's my system info. So of course, I am at Linux Mint 22.2 cinnamon. Here's my processor. I have 16 gigabytes of memory allocated. I have like around 55 gigabytes in my hard drive. Wow. Alright, cool. Software manager. This is the thing I showed you guys earlier. If only it would load. Okay, so here it is. This is a software manager. So you can go ahead and like press on anything here, and this software manager is actually pretty useful since it's like a Microsoft Store. It's pretty much, you know, a GUI interface, pretty easy to use. And there's plenty of apps here, unless it's like not supported on Linux. But you know, of course, you can install Blender. Firewall. I don't really use the firewall that much here. You know, yeah, you can turn this on. I don't really know what it does really. I rarely use the firewall, but you know, just turn it off. Wait, yeah, turn it off. Okay, oh come on, it just turns back on. What the frick? All right, I'm done with everything here. So documentation. That's just that. Help. There's a chat room. You can also connect to Matrix and chat users. That's crazy. Contribute. Okay, so after you're done with everything, and show this dialog at startup, and then just close everything. Yeah. Now just speedrun whatever I want to do. I have this task list here, so when you right click the desktop, there's like a bunch of options. You know, create a folder, create a new document, blah blah blah, create a new launcher. Oh, add a desklet. Okay, I don't know. You can change your wallpaper here. I just changed it something like, I just changed it this circle. Reminds me of Osu. There's this display setting, so of course I can make this like way bigger, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Actually, just so you, I'm just keeping that, yeah, 16:9. Okay, yeah. Just like Windows, you can add like a trash can here. So of course, right click, customize. I'll turn the auto range, desktop settings. Uncheck mountain drives, and then trash. So yeah, there's a trash there. So if I open this, yeah, there was nothing here yet. Okay, let me delete something. Then trash. Oh, there we go. There's the trash. All right, delete that. As for the taskbar, you can change the menu, I guess. So of course you can. Let me change to like another logo. So here, there we go. It's screen, the text, I guess. Oh, that changed the icon. So of course I can add like menu as a text. Yeah, I can add whatever as a text there. Okay, I don't know what this is. Open menu, enter. This is, oh wow, there's Python. That's crazy. Of course I can like resize this, unlike Windows 11. Or yeah, wait first let me like pin the right click, pin to panel. So yeah, pin the software manager at the panel. On right click, there's like system settings, of course, as well. Troubleshoot. I don't know. Add a new panel. Yeah, it just adds a new panel. Remove this one. Oh, nice. Yeah, I can move it up here. I can move it left, move it anywhere. Dude, I hate having to whisper, dude. Like, why did it have to like turn nighttime? Frick. Panel edit mode. So I can drag this here. Yeah, drag the stuff. And this thing here. This is what it's called, like a grouped window or something. And basically, if you delete this, you can like add it back. So right click, applets. And of course, grouped window list. This is yeah. You can add like other things. Oh, there's display. I guess I'll add that. What does this do? It just takes you to the shortcut. Okay, let me like remove display. All right, scale. So let me add that. I believe this shows you every single app that's open. So yeah, like this. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Remove that. Panel settings. This is just to change the panel. So change the height, change the size of stuff, I guess. Change the icons of your system stuff. As for the clock, you can go ahead and add seconds to it. So like pressing it, date and time settings, and then display the seconds. Also, let me display the date. There we go. Dude, we have 4 days left. That's crazy. As for the apps, we have all these apps here. I guess I'll just go with like the text app. So on Windows, you have the Notepad. This is the text app, Notepad for Linux Mint. So you can add whatever. This is a new document. This is open a file, save. We got all this cool stuff, and even then there's tabs to this too. So you can have like multiple tabs on like your Notepad, which is pretty nice. All right. The calculator. This is what the calculator looks like. It's pretty modern. It's pretty nice. Can you do like sine or cos or something? Oh, here's sine like 60, I guess. Nice. There's a calendar here. This is whoa, this looks way more modern. Wow. But yeah, this is very nice. I think it does sync with Google, but yeah, this is pretty nice. Okay, let me create an event. Mint tutorial, I guess. All right, cool. All right, so it's morning and I had to go to sleep because I was like so tired. So Anyways, I'm fully awake now, hopefully. So like Microsoft Windows, they have a default, pre-installed browser. In Windows it's Edge, but in Linux Mint it is Firefox. So if it can open up, okay, this taking a while. Already run. Yeah, here it is, Firefox. So this is the default browser in Linux Mint, also in Ubuntu. So okay, let me hide this. Let me get rid of this. Alright, so yeah, Firefox, this is the default browser, and just like using Edge, what if you don't want to use Firefox? What if you just want to use Google Chrome, just like everybody else? You can install it on Linux, of course, because Chrome has a version for Linux. So anyways, just search up like Chrome download or something, so like Google Chrome, right here it is, and then just like Windows, click on like a download button, and so we have like get Chrome for Linux, so Ubuntu, Fedora, OpenSUSE. Please select your download package. So like we have a .deb file for Debian and Ubuntu. Linux Mint, of course, is based on Ubuntu. So anything that's like built for Ubuntu, it can work on Linux Mint as well because it's based on Ubuntu. So .deb, .rpm is for Fedora and OpenSUSE here. But anyways, download the .deb file. This is like Linux's version for Ubuntu of like an exe. So anyways, it is downloaded here. And so basically what you are going to do is just go and like double click it, and then it opens up this package installer. So here's Google Chrome, and then you can just install the package. Now of course this is not the only way to install software on Linux. Just like before, you can go to the software manager, and then of course type in Google Chrome. Now of course it doesn't appear at first, but that's because Google Chrome doesn't have like a system package for Linux Mint. Google Chrome is here in a Flatpak. So anyways, click on the hamburger icon, then preferences, and then show and verify Flatpaks. And this is not recommended because there's a security risk, but if I search up like Google Chrome again, there you go, it appears. So yeah, you can download Google Chrome from this Flatpak. A third way is to go to the spooky scary terminal. Okay, let me show the menu bar. So we got all this stuff in the terminal. Alright, and type in, just like I said before. Wait, let me search if it exists. So apt search Chrome. I do this to see what the name it has. So Chromium. Okay, I don't think. Wait, GNOME Chrome GNOME shell. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I don't think it exists here, but yeah, there we go. Now moving on, another software that I want to install is Steam. Now, as you guys know, Linux has become very popular in recent times, and it's all due to Valve in the Steam Deck. So Steam is like a video game launcher, and it has many cool video games, but all those video games don't work on Linux, they work on Windows. And what Valve has done to make Steam games work on Linux is by a thing called Proton, which translates Windows stuff into Linux, and that's how we had Steam games to work on Linux. Oh, Little Nightmares 3. Wow, I need to play mixed reviews. What the frick? Oh, dude. Oh, their third game was released yesterday. Yeah, I need to play this. Wow, wait, $40. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Anyways, I'll show you more about Proton later, but anyways, let's go ahead and install Steam here. And basically, just like before, you install the exe file, install Steam, installs the deb file, and I gotta preface this, not every single software has this deb file. I think it's because Steam and Chrome wants to make their thing for Linux. So not everything has a deb file. I think this is just the ones that support it. So anyways, let's click on this deb file, and then you can install Steam like that. Of course, you can go to your software manager and just type in Steam. Then, oh wow, that was quick. So you can install Steam just like this. Install like there. There's also Flatpak. Oh, that's crazy. But yeah, you can just install Steam like that with the software manager, or you can go to the spooky scary terminal and then just type in apt search Steam at first. Oh wait, there it is. Then of course install Steam. Sudo apt install Steam. If you press enter, enter your password first. Then it should list out all these dependencies or whatever. Press Y to continue. Press N if you don't want to install it, but it should install. And I don't know what all these means, so I guess if it doesn't spit out an error, then maybe I'm good. So Alright, cool. So it's done downloading, and you can go here to your menu and just type in Steam installer. It's proprietary binary only software. Okay, so let's install it. So it should open Steam setup. Okay, let's wait for another progress bar, I guess, bruh. Alright, there's another progress bar, dude. Holy crap. Okay, it's downloading update. Alright, extracting package. Dude, I'm waiting so long. So long. Alright, so Steam is done installing, and let me just, there we go. Here's a sign up page, and I'm just gonna scan my QR code to see what happens. Alright, so here in Steam. Now I'm not gonna play any games here, so let me pause this for a sec. So I'm gonna do this on my actual host system. So let's say you wanted to play a video game, but like this, Zardy's Maze, but it only supports Windows. So first things first, go up to the top left, press on Steam, settings, and then compatibility, and then changes to like Proton 9 or something. All these Protons, hit on whatever Proton, not the old ones, I guess. Select the newest Protons, and then restart your Steam. Then pretty much when you like play a game, it should work for Linux. So it, wait, it's not running. What the? Hold up. Let me do this again. Whoa, it's what? No, alright, Steam sucks, but I managed to get this running and working on Wine, and I'll show that later. So, anyways, as you can see, it's working. Okay, it's not. I can't move. Or there we go. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Alright, so okay. So I used Wine to run Zardy's Maze. But first I want to show you guys that you can install multiple apps using the sudo apt-install command. So you got the sudo apt-install and then all these apps. So like Handbrake, vuousb, GIMP, 2048. So of course, press enter your password, and then that's going to install all the apps that you listed right there. So okay, it has like, there's VOC, Audacious. And this actually saved me a lot of time installing apps, because sometimes I keep on like reinstalling my OS or distro hop. This is pretty useful because you can install multiple apps all at once, just like 99. Alright, 99%. Alright, so it's done, and all the apps that I have here are installed. So let's check Handbrake. Alright, yeah, like, there we go. VOC, nice. GIMP, hopefully I don't crash this VM. But there we go, we have GIMP. Then Audacity. There it is. 2048. I think, yeah, this is the terminal one for 2048. And then we have like HTOP. And yeah, there we go. We have all these apps installed, which is pretty nice. Now to end this video off, I want to install a Windows app to show you guys how to make a Windows app run on Linux. And I know it's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. So anyways, let me download Notepad++. This is a very popular open source notepad app, but it only runs for Windows. As you can see here, it's only an exe file, and if you double click it, you can see that it doesn't run, right? Yeah, it just opens up the archive manager. So all this stuff, it doesn't run. So how do I get this exe file to run on Linux? Well, I could install Wine. So Wine, it stands for Wine is not an emulator. It's a compatibility capable of running Windows applications on several POSIX compliant operating systems such as Linux, macOS, and BSD. Instead of simulating internal Windows logic like a virtual machine emulator, Wine translates Windows API calls to a POSIX calls on the fly, eliminating the performance and memory penalties of other methods and allowing you to cleanly integrate Windows applications into your desktop. So basically, it's a translator that translates Windows stuff to Linux. But anyways, let's go download Wine here, and okay, let me wait for it to load. So, alright, so scroll down, and since I'm on Linux Mint, I select the Ubuntu one. So here at Wine binary packages, hit on Ubuntu, and then basically copy all these commands into your terminal. Now, I would be pretty cautious copying commands into your terminal, but the thing is, I trust Wine. So, from my personal experience, this is safe. So, I'm at Linux Mint 22.2 at the repository key. Let's add that. Alright, and then here, since I'm at Linux Mint 22.2, I select this one, so Noble. copy, paste. Alright, then update the system. Alright, and then install the stable branch, and then press yes, and then it's gonna install wine. Alright, so it's done, and to check if wine is installed, you can go and just type in wine --version, and there we go, we have wine 10. So the newest version of wine here. So, and we can of course go and hit wine cfg. This is wine config. So wine configuration is here. Wine mono installer, install this. So you gotta download that first. I'll just do this to get this out of the way first. Alright, so here's a wine configuration. So pretty much what I do is change the Windows version. Usually it's at Windows 7, but nowadays it's at Windows 10, which is pretty nice. So change the Windows version, I guess, and then OK. Let's close out all that. So if I double click the installer here, and also if I right click at the same time, you can see open with wine Windows, I guess, program or whatever. So here it is, wine. So here is the setup of Notepad++, and it works on Linux now. So okay, let me run Notepad++. So here it is. It's running on Linux. Now, albeit this is not as clean or whatever. There's even these 3 things up here. I don't know. It's not loading up. So settings, preferences, dark mode. Wonder, can it run dark mode? Let's go. Oh, but it's not like fully dark. Oh, it's somewhat, wine. No, it's not perfect, but I think for most things, I think it's fine. So yeah, this is a Windows program on Linux. Now, I think what that is, that not everything is going to work with wine. You know, Adobe Premiere Pro drivers for things, you know, not everything is going to work for wine, but it's worth a try. You should give it a shot. So, but yeah, for now, I think I'm going to end it here because I'm filming for like 40 minutes. This is the second part. This is me messing around with Linux Mint, and now I want to do the same thing with Windows 10 RT Enterprise LTSC 2021. Alright, so I'm on my Windows 10 do boot, and as you can see in my about section, you can see that my Windows version or edition is Windows 10 RT Enterprise LTSC. So I'm on it right now, and I'm going to show you how to install this version of Windows. So first things first, you go online and search up where the ISO file is. On the official Microsoft website, I haven't seen any downloads for it yet. Yeah, I haven't seen any downloads. Yeah, I don't think Microsoft releases their enterprise versions for the consumer, but there is another way that I got the ISO file, but it's not official, so be cautious. So what you're going to search up is mass Windows, and basically click on the first result. So to it, this website here, massgrave.dev. Mass stands for Microsoft Acceleration Script. This is a tool that people use to activate their Windows licenses for free. And to be honest, I'm not sure if this video will get taken down because this is technically like not legal, maybe because of like piracy or something, I guess. Oh look, there's our non-piracy site. What is this? Okay, I don't know what this is. But alright, anyways, go up here to the download Windows /Office, then go here, press Windows 10 or 11 Enterprise LTSC under download Windows. So click on this. Then scroll down to the download links, and then Windows 10 LTSC 2021. So this version here, Windows 10 LT Enterprise LTSC 2021. Just like what I have right here on my computer. There's only one version here, and that's the English language. Go ahead and download this. Okay, so it's verify I'm human, and then here's where I'll download my file. Okay, I've already downloaded, but I gotta preface that this is not official. This is not by Microsoft. So I do encourage you to be cautious with stuff that's not official. But for me personally, I haven't seen anything weird. I haven't gotten a virus yet, and everything's like as good as normal. But be cautious though. Anyways, once you have your file downloaded, burn that ISO to a USB stick, and then use something like Rufus to burn that ISO into the USB. Okay, I have Rufus open here, so here's my USB flash drive. I'm gonna go ahead and select the ISO image, then of course GPT as the partition scheme, MBR if you have like an older laptop or system, but I'll keep that as GPT, not chat GPT by the way, but no GPT. Leave the format options as default and then click on start. Leave this as the default, press OK. Warning, all data will be destroyed. Press OK. Again, make sure you back up your USB flash drive because it's gonna delete everything on the drive to make room for the Windows ISO. But anyways, after you hit start, sit back and relax because it's gonna take a while to copy the Windows ISO file to the flash drive. Now just for this video, I'm gonna hit on cancel because I'm gonna show you guys how to do the same thing on Linux as well, and it's actually quite different. Or maybe quite similar. Alright, I'm here on Linux, and to burn a Windows ISO file to a USB, I actually didn't notice, but if you open up Balena Etcher, and then let me get the ISO file, it says that possible Windows image detected. Looks like you are trying to burn a Windows image, and then unlike other images, Windows images require special processing to be made bootable. We suggest you use a tool especially designed for this purpose, such as Rufus Windows, woeusb for Linux, or Boot Camp Assistant for macOS. So anyways, woeusb. If you continue, I think, does it work? Okay, it does, but okay, I don't recommend you guys use Balena Etcher, but Balena Etcher recommend me use someone like woeusb, and I actually have it installed here. So here it is, woeusb. Continue. So here it is, woeusb. This wasn't in the software manager or in the repository, so I installed it using this YouTube video here by Moyash. So here is the command. So you add the repository, and then you update your system, and then you install woeusb, and then the front end. So these commands I will leave in the description as well, and then after that you should have woeusb. This is I'm not sure if this works on Fedora or Arch, but here it is, woeusb. Original developer. Alright, license, it's a free license. Alright, so this is a pretty simple interface. So of course you go and select your ISO file, alright, and then leave everything as default, and then click on your target device or your flash drive. So here it is, and then hit on install, and then type in your password, and then it should install right there. For me, the first time I actually did this, there was an error, and if there is ever an error for your side, I actually fixed it using this video as well. So you go to your spooky scary terminal, type in sudo fdisk-l, and then you see where your flash drive is. This guy's flash drive is again like 8 GB, just like me, and their device is at dev/dev/stb1, and then like sudo umount, the dev/ whatever, and then sudo mkfs.ntfs, and then the drive. Okay, this guy entered it a weird way, but it should fix the drive, and then it should make the thing work, make woeusb burn at ISO to your USB. But I'll have this video in the description below as well. It's pretty helpful. Alright, so now it's done. It should say installation succeeded, so okay. And after that, just like before, you grab your USB stick, plug it into a computer or laptop that's turned off. When you turn your laptop with a USB stick in, press your boot menu key like F9, F12, escape, or whatever. It's different on every single device. Then select your USB flash drive. If it doesn't appear, turn on some setting in the BIOS, but every BIOS is different. But once that's fine and dandy, you can go and set up Windows using your USB flash drive, just like any other operating system. Alright, so I'm here on my virtual machine. Let's start this. So here we are, Windows 10 RT Enterprise LTSC 2021. I guess to shorten this, I would just call it 10 IEL or something, I guess. It's a long name, but alright. So just like last time, I'm using a VM to simulate and show you guys how to install Windows 10 IEL without doing anything on my actual machine. So anyways, here's the Windows setup. So of course, choose your language. So it's, oh wait, this is English. This is whatever. Of course, choose English for all, American, the greatest country ever. So of course, install. Here on this screen, just press I don't have a product key, and then of course use your operating system. Choose this one, Windows 10 LT Enterprise LTSC. This one, I believe this will have like updates into, or sorry, like security supports into like 2032 or something. And this one is until like 2027, but I have to fact check it. So I'll leave the actual dates on screen, but choose the LT one because this one lasts longer. So click on next, and then accept the license terms. Next, custom. Where do you want to install Windows? Here, drives you unallocated space. Next. Oh, there we go. And now it's installing. I'm going to speed this part up. Yeah, it's pretty boring. Alright, now it's done. It needs to restart. I'll just wait. Press any key. I'm not gonna press anything. Okay, yeah, don't press anything. Yeah. Alright, here starting services. Hopefully it starts sooner. Okay, so let's start with the region. United States. Alright. US. Second keyword layout. No, just skip that. Alright, sign in with Microsoft. You can, I guess, put in your like email, but for now I'm gonna hit on domain join instead. So like, personal accounts, I'll just put win10. Oh, see. Alright, next, and then your password. Alright, then confirm. The security question. Alright, no for all of them. Alright, and then choose price center for device. Pretty much what I do is I turn off everything. Whoa. Okay, let me let's see that. Whoa, what? What? It just glitched the screen. Alright, just a moment. Hi. Alright. Just like standard Windows. We're getting everything ready for you. This might take several minutes. Don't turn off your PC. Alright. Alright, you're almost there. Alright, here we go. Okay, maybe later. So here we are. This is Windows 10 LT Enterprise. Alright, so let me zoom this in, or change the resolution, make it bigger. There we go. Alright. So if I click on my start menu, you guys can see it's way less bloated. There's not a lot of Candy Crush ads, unnecessary apps like TikTok or Clipchamp. So there's not that. Let's see. Let's go my about my PC. So there we go. Windows 10 LT Enterprise LTSC. Yeah. So there we go. Windows 10, the special business version of Windows, I guess. Is it activated? I first stumbled upon Windows 10 LT Enterprise LTSC from like the Wayback Machine, and that one, it was activated and it didn't work. This version from like Mass Windows, it's supposed to work, but apparently it's not activated. So that's pretty disappointing. So oh yeah, I can't even change it. Actually, it's just blurred out, but oh, whatever. This is a virtual machine. Now I might delete this anyways, but here it is, Windows 10 LTSC. So of course, Microsoft Edge. You use this browser to install other browsers. So of course, you can just install Chrome. Wait, there's no need to download a new browser. Okay, frick off, Microsoft. Let me install Chrome. Alright, here it is. Here's Chrome. Okay, just out of curiosity, I'm gonna use the mass script. See that does anything? I don't know. Alright. Okay, let's see this. Choose the menu option in your keyboard. So pick the green option. Try one. It sucks I have to do this because it's not like activated. But yeah, for me though, when I install it is activated. But this is a virtual machine, so it's not like it matters. Activate notice it's permanently activated. Digital license. Press SD. Go back. Alright, press 3. There's nothing here. Let's go back. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Let's power this off. It's just like every virtual machine. Go to your storage and then remove your storage device. So remove this from virtual device. So it doesn't boot into the setup again. Alright, really, I don't know what to do here. I've installed Steam for some reason. But I've also installed Notepad++. So as you can see here, apparently those 3 icons are just this plus. This X button. Oh, it's just your folders. But yeah, they're pretty much, it's just Windows, standard Windows. Yeah, put on dark mode. Alright. Practically everything works as usual. I did manage to activate this using that my script. Look at that. Windows is activated with a digital license, so let's go. I can change my desktop. Okay, let's change it to this. There we go. How nice. And then let's make it dark theme. Cool. So yeah. What's weird is that when I search things up, wait, let me search settings. You can see that the dark mode didn't apply to everything. So this part here should be dark as well. You can see this part is dark, but this part settings, this is not dark. If I search up calculator and well, apparently this calculator, this is an old version of the calculator. So this is oh, Windows 10 1900 something. But yeah, this is a very old version of the calculator. Oh, 2 plus 2. Okay, how can I type 2? 22? Okay, yeah, this is a very old version of the calculator, and it's still functioning, but it's just tiny. But yeah, the dark mode doesn't apply to everything, but eventually this part here, it does become dark after like a few days or something. So yeah, that was pretty weird. Okay, let me pin the Fire Explorer to the taskbar. And what's also weird is that network discovery was turned off. I had to like search up YouTube how to fix this, but yeah, there's some stuff that's turned off, but there's also some stuff you can turn on, like Windows Sandbox. I'm not going to turn this on, and it doesn't work anyways because this is a virtual machine. But for some version of Windows, like Windows 10 Home, Windows 10 Home doesn't have the Windows Sandbox feature, but like Windows 10 Pro or like this version, IoT, business versions have the sandbox on. So hey, at least you have sandbox. So yeah, we can turn off SMB if we want. But I'll digress. There isn't really anything I want to talk about here since it's just Windows 10. Everybody knows how Windows 10 works. I guess it's just like it's less bloaty and there's something that don't work. I guess like if I press Windows G, if to access the Xbox Game Board, that doesn't work. It doesn't turn on. And even then, there's no like Microsoft Store that doesn't exist. So you gotta like reinstall some stuff. I don't really have much to say here because it's just Windows 10, but it's just a version of Windows that again, it doesn't have that much features, but it's stable. There's no bloat really, and it lasts to like 2032. So maybe give this a chance if you don't want to switch to Windows 11. But there is a LTSC version of Windows 11 as well. But with that being said, I think I have to end this video here because I don't really have much to say. Windows 10 will end its support on the 14th of October 2025 this year, and it's actually kind of sad to see. One of the biggest operating system that pretty much everybody uses is gonna not have security updates and not be supported. A lot of people, including me, I think it's a pretty bad idea because of how much people have Windows 11. How are you gonna remove supports? Because essentially that could just harm a lot of people because a lot of people can get hacked. But if you look here, most people are switching to Windows 11. So like Windows 11 has more like market share than Windows 10 now. So this is Windows 11. Just April. Oh, June. There we go. It shot up. It surpassed Windows 10. So Windows 10 is slowly going down. Windows 11 is practically almost it's like going up. But yeah, pretty much because Windows 10 is about to die, people are switching to Windows 11 because security and whatnot. And what did we learn from this video? Windows 10 is about to die, but there are other options that you can take, like switching to Linux or trying to install an LTSC version of Windows, which is a more stable version with less bloats but not a lot of features, but it has no extended supports. Software comes and goes, nothing lasts forever, and it's kind of sad to see Windows 10 go away. But then again, I'm really curious to what Microsoft would be cooking up next. I wonder what Windows 12 would look like. But that's pretty much the end of my video. Hopefully y'all learned something at the end of the day. Maybe even switched to Linux. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.